Yep. All right. Hey guys. Okay, so I'm going to wait for some people to join. Those of you that have watched my lives before, you know the drill. So if you are not watching the replay, what I'll do in the live is I will actually make sure that I put the time that we start in the comments. For those of you that are joining now, just make sure if you can tell me if you can hear me. Hi, Ben. Nice to see you here. Thanks for joining. I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. So if you can just say that you can. Hello, Tom. Hi, Resin. And Tom, shout out to you. You basically come to a lot of my lives, if not every single one of them since quarantine has started, right? Let me know. Yes, I can hear you super clear. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys. As I like to start, tell me how many lives that you've actually been on live with me, and also too, tell me where you're from. I'd love to know where you're from and where you're watching from. All right. Hi, guys. Hi, Brett. Hello, Nash Fernandez. Gladiator. Hello. Cool name. I'm Peter from Spain. Hello, Peter from Spain. First time live, Ernest. Welcome, Ernest, to the live. We do lives every Tuesday at 3 p.m. And awesome. This is one of my first. Jack's one of his first. We got a lot of first-time people. Even last week, we had a lot of first-time people. That's awesome. Hello, Resin from South Africa. Robbie from Arizona. Shout out to you guys. I'm in Florida. Hi, Hector. Boozy from South Africa. Travis from Nashville. Hi, Travis. James from Long Island. Mike Moss from Los Angeles. Hi, Mike. Awesome. Nikos, I believe you can pronounce it, from Trinidad. Amazing. From Nigeria. Adeyemi, I believe you can pronounce it. Hopefully I didn't butcher that too much. Hi, Matt from the UK. This is amazing everywhere. Singapore, from Keith from Singapore. Oh, it's a little late over there, I think. Thanks for joining so much. Oh, this is awesome. I purchased your course, Codependency, Mickey A. Awesome, awesome. This is a game changer. That course is a game changer. I'm happy you did. Wonderful. All right, guys. So today's live, I want you to just understand that in today's live, what I'm going to kind of just talk about is kind of like a little bit of what we're probably experiencing in regards to quarantine, maybe some loneliness that we're feeling, some sense of connection. And also I want to be able to go into your Q&A. So this live is really about some Q&As. I want to be able to interact with you guys more than anything. So I'll be taking questions in regards to if there's any questions that you might have. If there's any topics also that you want me to talk to you about, please go ahead and mention a topic in the chat box. I would love to hear what you guys would like to what you guys would like to for me to talk about or for you to hear. Robbie McIntish, I wish I could afford you as a coach. Hi, Robbie. I know the prices are really expensive. And I continue to try to bring out things that can help me. The only reason why is I always say this is a lot of my products and a lot of my videos, I already give you guys a lot of content so you can use this and be able to implement this in your daily lives of whatever you're going through. So a lot of times you'll see like I give a lot of content away just in my videos because I want that for everybody. So, the goal is not like, oh, we got to get a coaching session. I think the goal is really like, what tools do we need to invest in to start implementing where we might need to change in our lives or maybe adjust in our lives or maybe tweak in our lives. I think that is the biggest one. So TK Ridge asked, can you talk about depression and getting into a relationship? Yeah, I definitely can. I think that is a really important thing to talk about, especially right now. I think a lot of us are experiencing some downtime. We're experiencing some thoughts that go on in our mind constantly, right? So we're always thinking about, what ifs, or we can be scared because we have no control of what the future is going to have for us right now, right? all we can do is trust in the unknown. Number one, trust that the right decisions will be made in the right time, and also trust that we make the precautions and we have the necessary precautions to make sure that we follow and continue to follow, so we can make sure that we are also the best way possible. And with that said, depression does take place in situations like this that we're facing, but also in relationships, and it actually enhances a lot right now in relationships. So one of the biggest things that I want to talk about right now is just to understand, like, when you are someone that suffers from depression, or if you know of anybody that suffers from depression, is number one is always being there for them, checking in with them, saying, how they're doing. And also understand, like, what is it that will make you happy long term, right? What is it that's going to make you happy long term? What is it that you need within yourself besides just another person that's going to make you happy? If you experience depression in a relationship, or that other person is a depressed person, well, number one thing is getting educated on it and understanding, like, where it comes from. Depression typically comes from a root, some type of traumatic experience, some type of traumatic expression, some type of traumatic thing that's happened in our life, or what we represent as ourselves. And sometimes also too, it can take over us, right? I suffered from depression in my 20s for many of years. And one of the things that I knew is I felt out of control when I was going through it. And so my biggest advice for people that do suffer from depression, or have a little bit of depression, is, and excuse me, have relationships with depression, or that partner does, is not only educating yourself, but also understanding that has nothing to do with you. A lot of times we get into relationships and we're like, this person's depressed, I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing something wrong, or I need to fix this. I need to fix this person. And this is where we fail, and this is where we lose ourselves, if we think that we're going to fix someone. And also if we start to attach, what it is that you want from this person in regards to them. So we start attaching the depression to our worth. Oh, well, if she was happy, then I would be a good man. Or maybe she's not happy because I'm not giving her enough, or I'm not showing her enough, or I'm not doing this. And we start to place blame on us. So that's really important. 1 second. So let me go in here. Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to helping my assistant with something here. And I think that's really important to understand, is, like, it has nothing to do with you. Like, find out also too, the biggest way that you can help someone through depression is a sense of detachment. Like, you're not attaching to that person. You're actually pushing them to basically find growth in their life and within yourself, right? I'm not a big believer that if we suffer from serious depression that we should be looking for a relationship. It's really about, like, what is it in us that's going to make us happy? Because that can defeat the purpose sometimes. And I think that's really, really important in regards to just making sure that you can also stay in tune with yourself, because the best relationships are two people that are on a journey together, but also have a personal journey of their own, right? And uphold dignity, class, resilience, respect for themselves and everybody else around them, right? So that is where it comes from. And thank you, Tom. Yeah. All right, perfect. So I hope that answers your question. I want to go into some more things here in regards to some topics you wanted me to cover. I'm going to scroll up. Second live. I wonder how to date a woman when there aren't women around. Expect me. I don't understand that. So someone asked, Al Smith says, does treating her like she's low value, does it work? Here's the thing, is that is a manipulation tactic that is actually taught to treat women like that. So I'll be honest with you, what you will attract though is, it might work, but it's going to work with an insecure woman, and it's going to work with a woman that is just not 100% in tune with herself. Because, for example, Al, it's really important that we get in tune with, like, as men, I want you guys to understand that you have a right to ask for something that you want, right? So getting clear, like, we can't go into dating blindly. Like, get clear on what it is that you want from a woman, right? So if you want a woman that is going to respect you, respect herself, be very independent, but also nurturing in a relationship, and have qualities that you like, and maybe a high quality woman or a woman that is aware, then this world tactic won't work. Speaking from experience myself, when a guy did that to me, the first thing I did was like, such a turnoff. And so this does work with women depending on what what type of maturity they're at in their life, where they're at. This happens with women that also too. This can work with women also too that are in a lack in their life. So it's also a responsibility to uphold in regards to ourselves, is really challenging ourselves to be the best person that we can be in relationships, right? I posted this quote on my Instagram, and this is a perfect time to mention it. And this is what it was beautiful, and I loved it. And the quote was, ultimate dating goal: leave someone better than you found them, right? So, because at the end of the day, if you can do that, then you're the one that ends up winning anyways. So Mike, you had a question too. Let me see. I saw you come through. Let me see if I can find you in here, Mike Moss. So on the side, if you look right here, if you can make a comment here. Skip ad right there. Make a comment and I can make you a moderator. Sorry guys, we're just helping. Yeah, another one so I can see it because it's kind of flooded. All right, so next question. I can't find your question, Mike, so if you can just drop it in the comment box again, and I'll answer that for you. All right, so I'm going to go into some more questions here.
Just anything.
I leave everyone. Okay. How do we slow down the pace of constant questionings during the first date? Great question, George. So the way that we slow down the pace is we want to make sure that woman is also engaging with you. And because, you are already moderator. Sorry, you are, yeah. And because of that, what we can do is, what questions is she asking you? Like, I think really good questions are like, tell me a little bit about yourself. And awkward silence is okay on dates. I think this is also like a good testament of how a man can just kind of sit back and be like, let me see what's going on here. Let me see if she gets comfortable with the silence, because uncomfortable with the silence because I'm pretty comfortable. And you can even call out that awkward moment of silence and say something like, oh, well, this isn't awkward or anything, and take a sip of your drink, When it gets weird is when one person is continuing to ask the questions. I think that's when it gets weird. So it's important that we kind of also understand that it takes two to tango, right? So if she's asking questions, then we can engage a little bit more. And you can also say, like, if you feel like you continue to ask the questions, you can even call it out and say, listen, it looks like I've been doing all the questions. Do you have any questions for me? You want me to try to get to know me? And then you can really see where her head is at as well. So Mike, you asked compatibility versus chemistry, which is more important in a relationship. I think both are. I think compatibility is very important, because when you have compatibility, you have chemistry, because compatibility also makes you feel connected. When you're compatible with someone, you feel connected as well. So, compatibility doesn't mean like, oh, they checked off this one box. Compatibility is also a feeling that they give you, right? Compatibility is, oh, do they get my humor? Oh, now we have a sense of humor. So if we have the same sense of humor, we have the same inside jokes. So now that turns into chemistry. You see what I mean? So compatibility is very important. But I think with you, Mike, because I know a little bit of your story, it's more like, but chemistry, what is chemistry? Is chemistry lust to you, right? So chemistry is something we are longing for. Like, for example, I want this woman to fill in the dots and look like XYZ. I want her to sound like XYZ, right? So we continue to chase over a story that we've kind of made up, and we're like, okay, I compare this woman to I had so much chemistry with this unhealthy, toxic woman. And that's because of the fact that she was unhealthy and toxic. So there's a lot of dopamine, a lot of endorphin rushes in that relationship. And you're trying to get that same feeling, but there's that same feeling of the chase and that chemistry of like, that's not chemistry, that's lust. And what happens is we can lose ourselves in lust. So there has to be a balance. Chemistry makes you feel comfortable. Compatibility makes you feel comfortable, right? And so when we understand and can distinguish the difference between the compatibility and the chemistry, then that's where we kind of get clear on, you know, what we want, you know, what we want to look for in a woman. And I think with you, Mike, because you asked that question, it's really about both, right? Compatibility, also chemistry can grow if someone is compatible with yourself. So I don't want you to think that, and what we do sometimes wrong is like, I felt this one way with this person, but I don't feel this way with any other people. But if we look at that relationship that we felt that one way in, it probably wasn't the best for us, right? And so why are we comparing anyways? So hope that helps. All right, so next question. What to do? I just lost you. Oh, here it is. What to do when she backs away but is waiting for me to make the move, but when I do, she says partially no. Partially no. I say, if she's saying partially no, it probably means that you're asking for too much. Maybe she's like not ready. Maybe, okay, for example, because I don't know what you're asking. Let's say she's just ready to meet you for coffee when that time comes, right? And you're like asking her for a full on dinner date or for her to come over to your house, right? I think it's really important that we just kind of take baby steps. So Vineet, you asked that question. What I would try to do is when you do ask her out, like warm her up to the fact first. And then once you warm her up to the fact, then when we can do that, we can kind of lean into, all right, what can I talk about? I mean, how can I ask her out? Casually. Maybe she's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I have to go study and blah, 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 blah. And you can just casually go in there and say, I know of a great coffee shop if you want to meet me there and for coffee, and then you can study afterwards, whatever you do. We're just more going with the flow, and you're not challenging her to and you're not challenging her to do something bigger, right? It seems like the date that you're trying to ask her on is something she can't really or she might not be ready for. Another thing that can be happening there is she's just kind of not testing you, but playing games with you in a way where it's like she likes the attention, but she's not ready to commit. Or maybe you're just asking, you're not getting to know her. Another thing is you're not getting to know her and you're just asking her on the date right away. So then that's when she's like, okay, I don't know if I feel comfortable with going out on a date with you right now. So those are the three things that could be happening in that predicament. So Eric Vera says, she says she wants to be friends first, but is open to try it. If something happens between us, great. If it doesn't happen, that's great too. Just don't push or rush. Don't push or rush it. Exactly, Eric. Exactly. So where we come up short in this area when a girl says let's be friends first is a lot of times women will be friends first with someone that they want to be in a relationship with, depending on where they're from, culturally, a lot of other things, and also too from the past of where they've been in and things that they experience in life. But here's the thing, where men lose, or when we lose in this situation, is when we're attached to an outcome, and we just don't when we try to push for something, we try to rush something, or we don't prioritize ourselves and we start to overcompensate for that other person, right? And I talked a lot about that in my free masterclass training that's coming up on Thursday. I put it here to sign up. It's a free masterclass training that I'm having on Thursday. And I also have a 3-part video series. And I talk a lot about this, actually. I talk about the people pleaser mentality of when you get into what happens when you get into the people pleasing mentality, and how that doesn't help you when it comes to attraction with women. Also, I talk about the perfectionist, like when you feel like you have to be perfect in order to get this type of woman and you have to know X, Y, Z, and your game has to be so strong and all this stuff. And we challenge ourselves and it becomes an illusion. So definitely, if that rings a bell, I would encourage you to sign up here. In the chat box, I put the link and I'll put it in there one more time. It's our big masterclass that we're having on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's a live masterclass, guys. I want everybody there. This is going to be I've been working on this for a long time. So it's only going to be for the first 500 people that sign up. So definitely do that. It's going to be great. Make sure you bring a pen and paper. All right. So next thing is, let me see. One second. My ex, hi Edgar, my ex is reaching, let me just give it to Devon. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go to Devon. Devon asked, hey Apollonia and Natalie, I have a question. Is it good on a first date to do something fun, for example, like bowling and theme park arcade games, etc.? Yeah, I definitely think it's okay to do that. I definitely say like give it a feel for the girl and what she likes to do. You know, if she's someone that's pretty active and that's something that you've talked about, definitely do that. I love interactive dates, right? I do like that, and I think it brings out like a funness to it. It's like, especially if you get nervous a lot on dates, this right here can kind of even it out a lot when you're also don't feel so obligated to sit on the table and the other person's in front of you and you're in front of the other person, you've got to talk. Like you have other things going on, like bowling, you have other things to talk about, arcade games, you have a little bit of distractions here and there that can even it out. And so I think that's great ideas. I actually talk about that in one of my videos about first dates or dates in general. Let's see. Apollonia, how do I get a quality woman like yourself, and how do I keep her from the start of the relationship? Oh, that's a great question. I should do a podcast about that. Actually, speaking of podcasts, we changed our podcast over. It used to be called The Female Algorithm. Now it's called Write Your Legend Podcast. And it's really about motivation, inspiration. We have incredible interviews coming up. Next week, I have an interview with Elena Cardone. The following week, I have an interview with Dr. Bob Winter. He's one of the best sports psychologists and mindset coaches. Guys, I'm delivering some quality content to my podcast. So if you have not signed up, please sign up, guys. Like I'm literally dedicating a lot of my time to this podcast because I think it's really, really important. I'm going to put the links here actually in the chat box too for you guys. So Ramar, I know thank you, by the way. It's an amazing question. And thank you also too for the compliment. So here's the thing, and I can give you just my personal experience. It took me, I wasn't always a woman that knew what she wanted. You know, it took me experience. It took me understanding, and I had a passion to better myself, right? So I had a passion to better myself, but I also understood the feminine component of being very nurturing and compassionate. Like I'm a big believer in a woman can have everything she wants in life if she's just nurturing and compassionate, right? Because and I think also too, this comes down to people, is we assume that everyone, like the world's against us, or we assume that we'll never be like this other person, and we start comparing ourselves, which I talk about in my masterclass on Thursday as well, how to overcome that. But what we don't do is we don't put the lens on ourselves and be like, well, why am I thinking this way, right? So the reason why I start with that is because there are plenty of women out there, and I have friends that are like this, and that have done the work, and they're ready for a man to really show up, and they're really feminine, and they're really, amazing. For example, I mean, one right here, right next to me, my assistant, she's beautiful, and she's just a woman that is just so compassionate, and she's really open. And I think that how you can tell that a woman is open is by asking her the right questions. That's why I made that 20 deep questions to get to know a woman's true self. I always say, ask her when you feel connected. So like the third, fourth, or second date, depending. Those are the good questions to really figure out where a woman is in her life, right? What inspires her? What is her purpose for life, right? How does she envision life, right? So that's where that comes from, is really understanding the root and asking the right questions and seeing what she's been through in life. Like, is she still a victim, or is she now a player in her life? Right now, I'm a player in my life. Like, hand me the deck and I'm going to win, basically, right? So I had challenges. I've come from depression. I've come from abuse. I've come from anxiety. And I talk openly about this actually in today's podcast that I posted. It was about me podcast that a lot of you guys were wanting to listen to or know. So you guys submitted questions and I answered them there today. And one of the biggest things I can tell you is I was a big victim before. Like anxiety ruled my life. Depression ruled my life. And until I turned the lens and my perspective and started becoming a player is how I got better within myself. And then how to keep a relationship is literally what I look for continuously in my relationship is that my man makes me not forget about my life goals. My man makes it his mission to make sure not only am I happy, he's giving me the attention, but I'm happy, but he gives me the space. He literally will give me the space so much that sometimes I'm like, babe, can you just pay attention to me? Like, come on, and he's open, communicative, he's vulnerable in the right times. And the way that he's like this is because he has a lot of dignity for himself. He respects himself wholeheartedly. Anybody that meets him says this all the time about him. He carries himself so well. He's one of those guys that will sit quiet in a group of conversation of people listening and listen to everything you say. And then he doesn't even have to talk. And when it's his time to talk, he'll blow you away, right? That's the thing is like, he has that control, that mindset control. And he talks a lot about his story to his, to his employees and things that he does for a living. But he wasn't always that guy, right? He wasn't always that guy. He had to actually assume responsibility. He was codependent, right? He even talks a lot about that. That's a product that I recently put together is codependent. Is a lot of times we don't think that we're codependent and we are until we finally meet that person that we love. And it's okay. There's a huge shame about relationships. And the shame is we think that we have to get it perfect the first or second time. And that's not how it goes. Like relationships are what makes us grow. And we don't have anything that teaches us the best way to have a relationship unless you landed on this YouTube channel the 8 until your first date, right? But here's the thing, sometimes you have to experience it on your own, even though advice is out there. For example, I'm sure there's some of you that watched a video and then afterwards you're like, dang, I wish I would have seen this video before this happened to me, right? Then I would have known how to deal with this situation, right? We just started to bring education to love. And I think it's like something that's so vital. And that's why I do this. So I think it's really about that and educating yourself and then just really sticking back and letting someone show up, right? It's about taking a different lens, taking a different perspective and really letting that person show up and show you who they truly are instead of going into it like, I've got to show myself that I've got to show her that I'm a quality man. You don't have to show anybody that you're a quality man if you're truly a quality man because it's embodied in you. So it's just something that you do, you take a right step, you take a left step. It's just something that you do once you're it. So I hope that helps. We go back into the comments here and thank you so much for that incredible question. If she can't control you, you're on the right path to manhood. Yeah, I think if anybody can control you. So let me, JH, that's a great feedback. And I get what you mean there. You should be the person that can control yourself. I will tell you something though. My partner does have some control over me and it's healthy control. The type of control that he has over me is I cannot abuse his values. Right? Like I would never in a million years talk bad about any one of his family members. And I mean, I don't think anything bad anyways, but I'm just saying in general, because I know for sure that's no, you don't do that. He's a very family oriented person. So I know my boundaries with him, right? So he does have a sense of control, but in a healthy way over me. And that's with anybody, right? It's like your kids. Like you don't want your kids to maybe do X, Y, Z. They have to have boundaries with you because you're a parent. Like in life, we have rules. We need rules. There's speed limits. There's cookbooks. I don't know. There's alarms. There's locks. There's government. There's taxes. We are accustomed to rules as humans. So when we go into relationships with absolutely no rules, absolutely no boundaries is where we fail. And when we fail within ourselves. So we don't want a type of bad control or unhealthy control, I should say, is when she has control over your being. Right. And I think that's a really important thing to realize is if we are in relationships and we're handing control over to, on a silver platter, to the woman that you're dating, number one, attraction's lost. Number two, respect is lost. Number three, she's gonna walk all over you. Number four, you become passive. Number five, you become codependent. Number six, you lost yourself. She has full control and she can drop it, turn around and walk away because she's only responsible for herself. And then you're down in the dust and you're like, holy crap, what just happened to me? Right? So our responsibility is to uphold ourselves. You're on the right path to manhood or womanhood or any type of hood, right? Like in regards to where you want to be, right? And that's the thing is like, that's what we got to get clear on is the balance of healthy control, healthy boundaries, and standards, and then non-healthy standards that can lead to manipulation. So thanks so much for that comment, JH. Let's see. Hi, Apollonia. Oh, something else came through. Hi from Los Angeles. Hi, Peter. Go Atkins. Thank you so much for being here. Can you make a video how to balance relationship with work and life? Of course, I'm shooting actually this week. Oh gosh, comments are coming in so quick. It's so hard, right? Do you find one that you can read for me?
Sure.
And then I'm gonna look too. I already signed up for the link you gave. Thanks for reply to my first question. You're welcome, Eric.
Just replied to it, but he said, if you want to keep a woman, just keep her guessing. And I didn't necessarily agree with that. It's a difference for me between having a girl guessing and kind of playing some romance to keep the lead, especially this quarantine.
Yeah, like keep her guessing, he's saying?
Yeah, I'm not dating. When they're dating, keep her guessing, like intrigue, like adventure. You know how women.
Oh yeah.
It's good to a certain extent, but don't they want to feel like some sort of like security in the, like when you?
It depends on where they are in the relationship. I definitely think at the beginning, keeping her guessing it doesn't mean like I'm going to keep her guessing and I'm just not gonna I'm gonna be secretive, because when we have that type of energy around it, she's definitely gonna feel that. But I think it's like keep it mysterious. And I talked about that actually 3 lives ago. I broke down exactly what it takes to create that woman that make you feel like that you're different than anybody else that she's dated. And what I call it is like become irresistible in a woman's eyes. And it's not about like the mystery component, is more about not keeping her guessing, but just not answering not being an open book, right? Like giving her some time to really find out a little bit more about you prioritizing your life a little bit more instead of just making her a priority, giving her into your life here and there. And then you continue on with your life, go golfing with your buddies or do whatever you want, playing basketball with your buddies. And then, hey, Friday, I would like to see you. Would you like to go out to dinner? So you have moderation, right? That's the biggest key in regards to keeping her guessing, or what we call mystery. That boy James says, seeing her for 7 weeks, intimate on every date since 3 weeks. I make the dates when I see her at work. When we're not together, she's only initiated once. I would give her some room to initiate, but also too, that boy James, direct her. Like honestly, just direct her. One of the biggest things that I love is, and I know it works like a charm for all my clients and all you guys on YouTube that tell me, is just direct her. She's reciprocating, obviously. She's intimate with you and she goes out on all the dates with you. So one thing I want you to say, that boy James, I have to continue to say that name, I love it. That boy James, I love it. So with that said, what I want you to do is kind of lead her. So the next time you talk to her, and you can say something like, oh, so what do you think is the most sexiest thing about a man? Or what turns you on? Or, you guys have been intimate, so you can say stuff like this, or you can just say something like, what do you look for in a man? Or, when you get into that topic, and then she will eventually basically ask you, like, that's a given. She will ask you afterwards because she wants to know too. And the one thing you can say is like, I find it really attractive when a woman goes after what she wants, when she initiates, when she plans a date, and plant that seed in her head, because she wants to be attractive in your eyes. So when we kind of subconsciously and consciously lead her there, I can guarantee you it's going to work like cake. Just lead her there. Like I don't want you to come out and say, you never planned things with me. No, 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 no. You know, now we're being needy. We're sharing vulnerability at your expense, basically. But sharing vulnerability in the right ways is because you're being informative. How do we become informative? We tell somebody. So that boy James, I had to say it one more time. I want you to do that and then tell me on the next slide how it worked out, okay? Hi Ray, hi Raymond, how are you? Mindset. That's all I got to say about you, Raymond, okay? Stay in control of those thoughts. No overthinking, and when she gives you an inch, don't take a mile.
Somebody just asked what to me when you asked a woman out. She said yes, but then she ghosts you. And that's in respond again.
Yeah, so someone asked, what if she ghosts you and then, what you ask her out and then she ghosts you? That typically happens because two things. Either number one, she wasn't really that interested in the first place, or number two, there's something else going on in her life that's taking up more time. Maybe she's even dating somebody else. And it does happen, you know, and that's why we don't put all our cookies in the cookie jar, right? I think it's really about understanding, like, nobody owes you anything when you date them in the first place. When we go into dating a woman and you think that she owes us something, that's when we lose, right? It's just about free flowing and being abundant, you know, in our mindset and just saying, okay, it is what it is. And that's what's attractive to a woman. There's a guy that's just abundant within himself, and it doesn't have any real expectations early on, right? In regards to when you're just starting to date her and get to know her. She might ask you, like, what are you looking for? And if you want something more serious, a good response to that is like, I'm not looking for just a casual hookup. I'm actually looking for having a meaningful relationship in my life. I just don't know who that woman will be. You know, it's really about getting to know someone. So you take accountability. So you're not looking at her, she's not looking at you as some type of player, but you're also not telling her like, it's you, I want you, you know, but she knows where your mind is at, and you're not like coming off too feminine, but some men are sometimes are needy. And then JJ Ferrari, I didn't see anything from you. Just try to mention it in the comments, and I'll do that. Rodrigo, why does she say we should hang out but never follows through? I feel like she's playing games and do not know why. She probably is. I think you're doing most of the initiating. If that's happening, you're definitely doing most of the initiating. So what I want you to do is I want you to just take a couple of days off, okay? I want you to just sit for a moment and just kind of let her come to you. And that's going to help you. Guys, here's the one that I see someone asking. So Spotify, these are the links for my podcast. This is the Spotify. So you can get on those podcast interviews that are coming up soon. This one is the iTunes. And remember, our masterclass is this Thursday. It's a free 1-hour masterclass with me, and we really kind of talk about and dive into everything in regards to codependency and breaking through. Number one thing that we talk about in the first video you'll see is the people pleaser mentality, how to reveal and how to ditch this mentality. Number two is about establishing dysfunctional boundaries with people and learn how to set healthy boundaries. And the video number three is the traits of a codependent, discover how to break free and achieve personal freedom. And then we go into the video 4, which is the live masterclass, where I'm actually going to give you step-by-step advice on what to do and empower you and motivate you to do better within your own self. And that's, you know, my end goal. Light, nice to see you here. I'm talking to a girl for about a month. She indirectly rejected me through a friend, but still acts really interested in me when we're talking in a group. So she seems like she's young. Like, tell me how old she is. She's probably in her 20s, right? I can guarantee you she may be 25, maybe. Either 23 to 26 max, the girl you're talking about. Tell me. So I'm gonna wait until you come through, Light, and tell me how old she is. How do you get to know an escort? She gave me her personal number. How do I slowly get to know her? That's the thing with an escort. It's really hard. You know, it depends on what are you willing to invest? You know, because it's their job. Their job is to get money from you. So it's really about like what you're willing to invest in. Why are we doing that? Why not just date someone else as well and give an opportunity to someone that is just not looking for your money. She's early 20s, exactly like I told you. All right, now let's get into it. So Light asks, I'm talking to a girl for about a month. She's indirectly rejecting me through a friend, but still acts really interested in me when she's talking in a group. Okay, and then I said, Light, I can guarantee you she's in her either 23, 26 max, but she's definitely 23 or in her early 20s. And he says, yes, she's in her early 20s. So with that said, what happens with women when they're in their 20s is they love attention. They seek validation from guys to an extreme sometimes. Not all women are like this, okay? Some women in their 20s are, but not all women. And it comes to how they feel about themselves. So what she's doing is games, yes, but she's also wanting your attention. So what I would encourage you to do is show her you're not the guy to always give her the attention, to make her work for you too. And that's what's going to make her continue to come. She's going to get frustrated with you. She's going to tease you. It's just very immature way of handling it. And she's going to do that because that's what she knows and that's what they do. And I also do think that if you let her come to you and chase you a little bit more and challenge her from time to time and be joking, don't take her seriously either. And just go with the flow of it. And ooh, I can guarantee you, Light, you're going to see something change within her. And she's going to start coming to you. She's wanting your attention though. So with that said, I would be careful with a girl like that. So have her now fight for your attention. And don't show her that what she's doing is getting to you. Like, for example, if she's like, oh my God, you're such a blah, 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 blah. I don't know what she would say. And be like, no, actually I'm not. But anyway, so how's your coffee? You know, like where you totally ignore the instability or the immaturity and you kind of position yourself a little bit higher above what she's giving you. So that 100% is the way to do it. Ray Dorado, I love your chats. Well, thank you so much. Love you. Tom says, make her hungry for it of attention. Listen to her. Tom, I love you, Tom. You're always in my chats. You have a question, Tom? I need to pay some attention to you. You are always showing up every Tuesday for me. There's a lot of you that show up every Tuesday here for me, but Tom is really active, and you really actually, I see your responses sometimes in here, not all of them, but I think you really support these people that are in the comments. So thank you, Tom. Do you see another question?
Yeah, so what's the probability of your ex stop loving you after 16 years of relationship? She's already dating, so I pulled away, but reaches out with some excuse about our daughters.
Oh, that's a different, yeah. That'd be a great question for you to answer, but 16 years of marriage and then a divorce, right?
Yeah, well, I was just saying love evolves.
Yeah.
16 years.
Yeah, I think after 16 years, love does evolve. Here's the thing is where we think is like, love is always going to be like there, right? Like, yeah. Oh, I'm going to have this butterfly feeling since the first day. But what we don't remember is like, when you get married, that's when the work begins, really, you know? Love is constant work. Like, just because I wake up doesn't mean that I love my partner today. Like, I'm so in love and I'm infatuated with them. Like, it doesn't work like that. Some days you're just like, I need my time. I need a space. I just need to get away. And it doesn't have anything to do with them. It's just how we are as humans. So love is about work, and it's constantly working. And I think the two things that you have to understand is communication and always and communication also makes you aware in the relationship where your partner is, where they're growing to, where they want to be. We have monthly check-ins. Like in my relationship, we have monthly check-ins, and we have our end of the year after New Year's check-in. And it's just about a relationship, right? And we just kind of check in with each other. And it's done. We're not like, oh, we're doing our check-in meeting today. Like, it's not like that. It's just, that would totally take the romance out of it. But it's something that we know, and we just come about, and we just, when the time is right, we'll have our meeting or to sit down and talk in bed or, in the office, and we just talk about everything. Hi, Brendan. Nice to see you here. Brendan Duncan. Thank you so much. German says, I love you, Apollonia. I love you too. Have Tom on show. Michael says, have Tom on the show. I probably could. That would be cool. Maybe I'll have you call in, Tom. I stopped talking to this person. Oh, God. I'm going in too fast. I'm new to your channel. I love your videos. My girlfriend needs space right now. I'm trying to keep distance. Stop coming. What do I do during the time of her birthday is Thursday, but she still got me at a distance. Hi, Ryan. So just a simple thing, happy birthday. To continue to give her space. So a text message, Ryan, that I think that, and welcome to the channel, by the way. And glad you're here. And welcome to your first live. So one of the things, I don't know the reason why you guys have gotten space. So I have a lot of videos on space, and I also have 2 amazing blogs. You can just search and Google She Needs Space, and the blog will come up. And then I Need Space, and my blog will be the first one probably on the Google. I want you to read those blogs too, Ryan, because that's going to help you navigate what space really means. Space is literally the word women use, right? Like, I need space. It's like such a common thing. I like have aced what space means.
They literally mean it.
Yeah, and they really mean it, guys. Like, there's a lot of times it's like, people are like, well, what does it mean? It means give her space. It really just does mean that, and you're doing great by giving her the space. But what I want you to do, Ryan, is on her birthday, just send her something like that doesn't have like you're not fishing for her to come to you a little bit more. I think it's more about, hey, sweetheart, or let's say her name's Cindy. Hey, Cindy, I just want to wish you a happy birthday. I hope you're having an incredible day. And I'm wishing you, the best all day today, and I hope you're well. That's it. She'll be like, thank you so much for reaching out. I hope you're well too. Perfect. No response. Let her be. Give her more space. Where we go wrong is, yeah, I'm doing good, and blah, blah, blah. Here's a picture of this, and here's this, and there's that. And then we're doing too much, right? So we've got to back away, right? There's more power. And here's the thing is, if you do this right, you find so much strength within you too. Like, you have the power to do so. Like, you have the power to separate, even though it's scary when you love someone that you have the possibility to lose them. I get it. I'm not taking that away, but you have power, because when you do back away and you give someone space, you realize a lot about yourself. You realize a lot about the relationship. You realize a lot about that other person that you didn't before. So I hope that helps, right? And welcome to the channel. Okay, I'm trying to get over a woman at work, but she's still in my thoughts, and it pisses me off. I think she feels it energetically and think it's anger towards her. Best choice of action. Yeah. So emotions are involved if she thinks it's anger towards her. So you're emotionally drawn to this woman. So it's showing in your demeanor. It's showing in your face. Like, let's just say that you both, all 3 of you and your coworkers are talking, and you just talk to the 2 coworkers and not her, and you only look at them. So pay attention to your body language, right? And I would really encourage you to really ask yourself 2 questions. Lord, I can't say the whole thing. But I would ask yourself 2 questions. First question is, why am I chasing after a woman that doesn't want me? Because, and it's not like to be hard on yourself. It really just continues to help you put your mind into perspective of, it gets you out of the fantasy land in your thoughts, and it puts you back to reality. And then secondly is, what can I do? I mean, what am I doing that this woman is subconsciously or consciously controlling me besides my thoughts? So it could be conversations that you're having with other people at work. It could be that you don't even look at her in the eyes. It could be that you're just mean, or it could be that you're holding back work for her. I don't know, because I'm not in the situation. So what are we doing that we're actually having to go above and beyond for to, like, avoid her possibly, or make her energetically feel like you have anger towards her? So those are the things that I would kind of look into. And also remember, your body doesn't know what to do with your thoughts. You are responsible for the thoughts that you put into your body, right? So into your mind, meaning. So if I believe that I have blonde hair, I'm going to continue to tell myself I have blonde hair. Well, then guess what? My mind is going to think I have blonde hair, and then I'm going to be challenging myself forever and ever. But if I don't believe that, then why am I going to sit here with the thoughts any farther? No, I don't have blonde hair. Okay, next, move on, right? So I know it sounds easy compared to what we're going through. Obviously, in a relationship, it's not that easy. But that's the thing, is we have to be observers of what we're letting into our mind. We have to be observers of what we're believing. We have to be observers of our language. Like, I can't. That's a huge one I hear all the time. I can't do this. Okay, well, then you've already told yourself you can't do this. So why don't we start changing your language? What you can do something. You can do this. So that's important. Devin asks, hey, Apollonia, I feel this is a red flag to me when a woman asks me when is the last time I've been intimate with someone, what is the best response? I get this question a lot because I feel uncomfortable and we just started dating. Perfect, Devin. So the best response is something like this. I don't think it's a red flag. I think it's definitely she's trying to figure out if you're a player, right? So you don't also want to disqualify yourself as well and say, oh, I don't get any, oh, it's been years, like it doesn't matter. It's none of her business too. But I also think it's more about just how you respond and say, listen, whoa, that's a really intimate question. But what I can say is that I don't sleep around. Right. And then just answer it like that. And just be like, well, that's a very intimate question. But what I can say is I don't sleep around. I sleep with people that I really like, if that happens. Or if you can say like, I sleep with someone that, you can say something like, whoa, that's a very intimate question. But I definitely, I definitely don't just sleep around. Or you can even say like, I'm not about that life anymore. You can actually say something indirectly in that realm for her to kind of be like, okay, because what it is the form of a shit test. She wants to basically see if you're a player, plain and simple.
Tom actually asked his question.
Mm-hmm.
All
right, Tom.
How to tell her nicely to leave you alone and not interested in her without hurting her feelings.
Being completely honest. Here's the thing is you got to be okay with hurting someone's feelings, right? So it's like, it's okay. Like, that's the thing is, it sucks to hurt someone's feelings, but that's why people ghost. So that's the thing is like, you have integrity for yourself, Tom. So tell her the truth, and maybe give her for some feedback. Maybe say like, listen, I'm not into you because you were just too pushy in the beginning and it kind of scared me away, just some feedback. And I don't see this going anywhere. And I just really, instead of ghosting you, I just want to be honest. And that right there will hurt her a little bit, but I can guarantee you it'll save her so much thoughts of like, I wonder why, and that's where ghosting comes in, and people get so offended by ghosting. It's because we don't want to hurt feelings. And it's funny because we don't want to hurt feelings, but ghosting ends up hurting someone's feelings. You know what I mean? But it's because the other person's taking the easy way out. And it's like, Tom, the easy way out is ghosting, really. But the moral way out is by communicating like what it is probably that you didn't really like about her, if it will help her. And if it's not, just tell her you just don't feel connection. You just don't feel like it's there, and that's it. So I hope that helps. I'm gonna take one more question and then I got to go. Hey Raymond, what about Mother's Day? This girl that you're talking about, I know, just wish her happy Mother's Day, Raymond. Don't do anything more, okay? If she asks you a question, you can answer it, but don't take in mile when she gives you an inch. Is it worth chatting on dating apps right now? Keith asked. Should I wait until the quarantine is over to avoid chats fizzling? Keith, I think it's really worth it. A lot of the chats, again, I'm not matching, these are the pants I have under. A lot of the chats are really like, a lot of the online dating is really doing like this. I know Bumble has it. They reached out to me, another app reached out to me to let me know that they're actually doing FaceTime dates. Like they have it on the applications now where you can actually have these dates and have wine and things like that. Here's the thing is, I think if you find a connection with someone like this, and then when quarantine's over, like, you guys are going to have a lot of adrenaline and it might just, other things might happen. But so I think it's actually a good thing. Just don't go into online dating with a lot of expectations. I know it's rough and I know it's hard, but I definitely do think that there's value in online dating. I've had so many clients find love online. So I hope that helps. And I definitely think it's something you can do, Keith, huh?
It's a good way to screen.
Yeah, it's a good way to screen people too. Yeah, this is your time. Like if you're ready and you're ready for something, this is your time to put in the work and let these women shine. Like let them show up and you show up too. Like, there's this cute girl, Erica, Josie, Cynthia, Natalie, and Apollonia. We're all chatting. I'm chatting with all these girls. Let me see which one is the funnest one to chat with. Let me go on a FaceTime date with all of these girls. And then let's see which one after quarantine wants to go on a date with me. And if it's just Cynthia, great. That's the thing is like we have to go into it with that aspect. So I hope that helps, Keith. Oh gosh, we got so many things coming in. Thank you, Sonia Nugent. Oh, thank you so much. It's so sweet of you. So masterclass, let me talk about that. So Elle Nixon, you're the last, you're the last person I'm going to take the question for, guys. Okay. So the masterclass training, there is a link. Please enroll in this masterclass training. This masterclass training is going to be over an hour with me on Thursday. Put your headphones on, phone down, put your pen and paper, so we can really make sure that we are showing up and really getting focused on how we can be better. I talk about overcoming and breaking free of codependency, being in more control and empowered, not only in your relationships with women, but in your own personal life, and how this happens. I have so many clients that are doing this product right now. It's called my Break Free Codependency product. And it's literally a game changer. Like, they've actually told me also too, that it's helped them in their careers. It's helped them in so much, and just in their personal happiness. And that is ultimately my goal. It took me a year to put this product together, because it was like, what can I do in like 3 months of my coaching and put it all in one product, so someone can get this for an affordable price and also do the work on themselves. And then you have my VIP masterclass, my VIP membership area, where I go in there and I do coaching calls every second Thursday of the month, every second Thursday of the month. And that's what's really important, is that we just kind of are able to shine, and we'd be able to like understand, like, where is this mindset coming from? Where is this thing coming from, that it's more about like, why do I feel lack in my life? Why do I not get my way with women? Why am I not able to feel like I'm not attaching to a woman, right? And so I think it's really important that if you feel like you lose control and you start overthinking when you like a girl, there's some type of codependency. There's some type of something in there. And I know this masterclass will help you a lot as well. All right, guys. So I'm going to answer this question. The best thing I could have done is to start with the ABCs. If cognitive behavior, learn why you're attracted to certain people. Yep. What happens during the childhood is manifested into your adulthood. Oh my God, I love that you said this. So Elle Nixon, this is exactly what I talk about on Thursday. This is amazing. This is the last question. See, destiny, faith, hallelujah. When you're on your purpose, things come in. So this is exactly what I talk about in my masterclass on Thursday. Elle Nixon says, the best thing I could have done is to start with the ABCs. If cognitive behavior, learn why you attract certain people. What happens during our childhood is manifested into our adulthood. Yes. And I tell you why as well. So thank you, Nixon, for that. I appreciate you. Thanks for ending it there. Guys, here's the link one more time. Sign up for the masterclass on Thursday. And is that the right link that I'm giving? Let me just make sure. Yeah. Sign up for that masterclass on Thursday, this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I will see you guys there. And remember, you're always loved. I love you guys. I love doing these lives. I was telling Cynthia, my assistant here by me, that I was so tired, and I had a cup of coffee, and she's like, oh, you're going to feel fine when you're done. You're going to get a bunch of energy when you're on. And of course it happens. So thank you guys for being here. Thanks always for your support. Today's new podcast is up. Go ahead and check out the podcast. Follow me on Instagram. You can swipe up my stories to check out that new podcast. It's a podcast about the business, about me, and everything, all the questions that you submitted that you wanted to know. I'll see you next Tuesday. Every Tuesday until the rest of quarantine, I'm here with you guys at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Every Tuesday I do lives every single week. That was my give back to you. We will be doing another drawing for another winner. I'm going to pay someone one bill that exceeds. We're going to do a couple of them every week, I think. We just did one last week, and we announced the winner. So stay tuned, because I actually do this on my Instagram. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, go ahead and do so. It's the way that I can give back during this time. And I can't obviously hit everybody, but hopefully I can give back to the people that need it the most. So go ahead and follow me here at Apollonia_Ponti on Instagram. I love you guys. I will see you again soon. Thank you so much for being here with me. It's an honor that you all follow me. You take the time out of your days to listen to me, and you believe in me. And the biggest thing is, because you believe in me, you really believe in yourself. And I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
Wow,